After Rome's end in 476, there was chaos and corruption thrown into the mix. People didn't trust central government at all, so feudalism started up right after the fall. People lived on manors the Catholic Church took, the place of government which had been let off the hook. Enter Middle Ages, with manors all the ragin', an emphasis on agriculture, not education. Feudal contracts made then, farming center staging. Suddenly farming got legit, and they were fading. With sufficient food, people could focus on fun, which indicated that the Renaissance had begun.
Plagues, crusades got people thinking. Their life and what's around them was really stinking. City-states, warm climates, and ancient influence brought 1300s Italy rebirth that's still in continuance. The Renaissance led to many new values. All that happened made people question, what shall you do? Who? The ideal Renaissance man, who could do all that one person can. Focus on the real world brought on secularism. That all sprang up from the big great schism. The church split in two, which lessened its power. People now live for success, not like cowards. Being skeptical brought on human discovery, made all the arts and cultures go through a major recovery. Machiavelli's leadership ideals, the printing press, growing towns of good attitudes bring modern progress. Europe would never be the same. Those medieval times have been totally lame.
Religion always impacts society. Everybody has needs, a Maslow's hierarchy. Change keeps coming, hour after hour. There is always gonna be a fight for power. The desire to advance human knowledge is intense, but the history of it all is so very dense. We're here to tell you a story to make it all make sense. So listen in, kids, let the rapping commence.
Enter now the Reformation, which brought on a transformation. Inspired by the Renaissance, Martin Luther started to fight. He worked and worked to gain his own divine right. Down in Wittenberg, 95 theses posted on the door, exposed the church's corruption, got people begging for more. No more indulgences, own only 2 sacraments. Reading your own Bible led to his accomplishments. People learn how to think on their own, challenge authorities, give their voice a tone. With emerging Protestantism, we get more individualism. Despite endless religious persecution, when all the wars that end in bloody execution, comes the idea that one can have their own opinion, challenge all truth so they are no longer an institute's minion.
Exploration was thanks to many new inventions. Sails and compasses led to very high tensions. Gold and gold were in high demand, so they decided to leave their mainland. Like Vasco da Gama, yeah, he caused some drama when he found a route to India. Who rounded the Cape of Good Storms? Because it surely put him on a good platform. Bartholomew Diaz is his name, and after this he rose to fame. Some explorers conquered many new places, where they discovered many new races. The native people there were treated unfair. Indigenous people who worked the land, they did everything with their own 2 hands. Yeah, that's right, the Spanish tricked them, and then they used the land and the people for their own income.
Religion always impacts society. Everybody has needs, a Maslow's hierarchy. Change keeps coming, hour after hour. There is always gonna be a fight for power. The desire to advance human knowledge is intense, but the history of it all is so very dense. We're here to tell you a story to make it all make sense. So listen in, kids, let the rapping commence.
Exploration made people curious, while it also made the indigenous people furious. The ideas of mercantilism and inflation brought wealth to the nation. Many countries wanted to be in first place. They were eager to start the race. Places like Portugal and Spain fought to control the post-landed riches, which was their main goal. This brought many items from different places to trade, but many were afraid. They were not worried that these species were not designed to be where they were by mankind. The plants and animals would cause harm, which is why today we don't allow certain things to be grown on farms. Slaves were also passed through ships, which would undergo a series of chains and whips. These conditions on the ships were unethical, which left many of the people with injuries that were critical.
Difficult times when France were making things tense. Something had to change because the conflict was intense. The need to resolve this was felt acutely. Could a strong new ruler do it? Absolutely. Take a look at Henry IV and his Jude Richelieu. Don't forget Mazarin and Louis XIV too. They consolidated power with a couple strategies, taking power from nobility, establishing peace. Improving economics in the army was a must, and rulers simply executed folks they didn't trust. Justified it all with their divine right to rule. With God backing them up, monarchy was pretty cool. Consolidating power wasn't just for Europeans. Look at Russia and its Ivan and Peter, you'll be seeing. Peter in particular got stuff done, getting power and improving Russia all in one. Moving to westernize, cutting beards off Boyer guys, leader of the church, surprise, trying to industrialize. Thing with absolutism is it can be fine, but when it's bad for the people is where you can draw the line.
Religion always impacts society. Everybody has needs on Maslow's hierarchy. Change keeps coming, hour after hour. There is always gonna be a fight for power. The desire to advance human knowledge is intense, but the history of it all is so very dense. We're here to tell you a story to make it all make sense. So listen in, kids, let the rapping commence.
Now let's talk 16th century England. Tudor family had more drama than the Kardashians. They changed their religion several times. Henry VIII even had 6 wives. Henry's son Edward IV was his heir, followed by his older sisters Elizabeth and Mary. Edward died when he was only 15. Lady Jane Grey was the 9-day queen. Then Mary I came to power in 1553, tried to bring back Catholicism but didn't succeed. Hundreds of people she had burned at the stake until Bloody Mary died in 1558. Next came Elizabeth, Henry's second daughter, so truly outstanding that her name became the era. She ruled for 45 years, accumulated some debt, and beheaded Mary Queen of Scots because she was a threat. Elizabeth had no heir because she never married, so next came to power the Stuart family. The next few rulers disagreed with Parliament, then Cromwell came along and demolished them. Then finally in 1688, England became a constitutional monarchy. The scientific revolution was full of changes, so many new theories different from the Middle Ages. Copernicus, Galileo, Johannes Kepler, Francis Bacon, Isaac Newton, and René Descartes developed new theories, established basic laws of motion, used the scientific method, someone give them a promotion. Then came the Enlightenment, to the Catholics' dismay, because people used reason to improve society. A time of intellectual energy and optimism, with philosophies like Voltaire who believed in deism. They tried to make rules to explain the universe, and began to question things that they accepted before. These new ideas sparked some A-plus thinking. Treatment of women and slaves needed some rethinking.
Impacts society. Everybody has needs on Maslow's hierarchy. Change keeps coming, hour after hour. There is always gonna be a fight for power. The desire to advance human knowledge is intense, but the history of it all is so very dense. We're here to tell you a story to make it all make sense. So listen in, kids, let the rapping commence. Now let's see what needs to be reviewed. Power struggles, basic needs,